Welcome to our session about collaborative AI-assisted teamwork at ISS. My name is Marko Taipale. I'm a principal consultant at Solita, and with me here is
Samia Ferberg, and I'm responsible of business IT at ISS.
Jenni Heinisuo, the CIO of ISS Finland.
And with these folks, we're going to start with going through a bit of our project, what we've done together. But before the actual project and the findings that we have had with the project, maybe Jenni, you just tell us a bit more what is ISS and all about.
Yeah, just a couple of words, because we're the leading provider of facility services in Finland and quite substantial player also globally. In Finland, we're 7,600 people, and globally we're 350,000. Our services that we provide with our professionals there's cleaning, there's technical services and maintenance. So we've got food, we got support and security services that we provide to our customers worldwide.
Right, and actually, there's something that we've done together, and we want to basically focus for the next 10 minutes or so to actually what we learned on our collaboration, where we actually done a kind of research project, if you will, that we call a twin project. That research project, one of the things that we found out to actually be the most interesting outcome was a kind of a way of working. Mm-hmm. The way of working that we actually call a collab AI. And in practice, what it is, which sounds maybe quite crazy, is that there's a team working on an individual computer, but they're collaborating together, working together to reach a shared goal, and they're using all the various AI assistants and tools to reach the goal as a team. And we've done this for a couple of months now, and here are the top three learnings, but I would like to actually reflect these with you. Mm-hmm. And the first one that we have there is kind of going to the deep end. It's about psychological safety, that we feel that it's actually prerequisite for working with AI. And I'm just going to give one practical example from the project, but I would like to actually hear what do you think about it. Mm. In the project, we had both this junior and senior, for instance, software developers as part of the project. And one of the findings was that imagine a junior developer going first time to the computer, sharing his screen, and starting asking questions from the AI that, hey, could you please generate me this piece of solution, or how would I should go about this and that? And of course, the rest of teams is supporting and helping, but this person, the voice in their head is that, oh my God, everybody else knows this better than I do. Mm-hmm. And then again, as a senior person, this does go other way around as well. If you're a senior person, everybody sees what you've asked ever from your ChatGPT or whatever assistant you are having. And they also actually see that, oh my God, that person doesn't actually know this small detail, which is really, really, really remarkable. But what's your take on psychological safety?
I think it's a thing that's, of course, it's for any successful company. Psychological safety is the only way to roll. But then again, the importance that the AI development and using AI tools, how it's been shown, it's even more important. And with the technology, you don't get to think about psychology. You just think that it's the technology is just gonna make everything out. But here, it's actually very important, and it's a good finding, I think.
Another finding that we have had is about the information sharing. So I think it's maybe quite obvious that, well, the AI is as good as the data that we give it to it. But it's interesting when you have a certain dynamic within organization, or especially across two organizations working together, that, okay, do we share this information? Should we share it? Is it okay to share? Is it okay to give that to AI? That's a separate topic as such, but regarding this, what are your thoughts of that? We actually want to encourage the information sharing, but why people would hide the information?
I think it's sort of another take on information, because traditionally information's been the power. It's the power that I know and other people's don't. So I should probably keep it to myself, so I get this power and recognition on my abilities. But then again, when we look into these modern ways of working, like, I don't know if you know about this alliance way of working in construction industry, where it is very important to share all those notions, all the findings within the project and during the project, like daily basis, just to be sure that nothing is left hidden, so that would probably come up somewhere when it's not good. Because when something is found out too late, there's not much to do in construction, because probably you laid the concrete on it already. So it's very important to know to share those things that probably might cause a problem at some point. So in that context, knowledge sharing is very crucial for making sure that the end result is good. So that is something that I think all the industries should learn about, how to share it in the right time, and not just share at some point, like the findings in the end, because that's probably too late. So you need to share those in decent time, so sort of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about, Sami, you've been in those conversations with our project as well, that okay, we shouldn't put the business critical information in, and what is that, and so forth. What's your take on this information sharing?
Well, I believe that it's really important, of course, in AI-driven environments, but in general as well, especially if you are talking about information sharing within one company, and also in the construction industry, where multiple companies share information. So I think this can actually create like a benefit for all type of situation if we share more information. So you give some, but I believe you get even more from that.
Yeah.
Right. That's actually really nice highlight. And the way that we actually went about this in this project was that, because we had kind of those discussions of, okay, this is business critical, this shouldn't put in, and this should be, and how could we actually adjust that level of what's critical? One way that we found very useful was that there was a person because this is Solita and ISS working together, there was a person from your side, actually part of the team, kind of understanding that if I give now this information, this is what I will gain. It wasn't kind of like, let's agree on policy without understanding the implication. So I think that gives a higher kind of even emphasis on the collaboration, that when the person is in the room and he or she understands that, okay, this information is now used for this, he or she can also make a judgment call regarding that, okay, we can share it for this purpose. Last but not least, since I already said that it's the collab AI approach in a way, and it's kind of obvious that we want to, within that, prioritize collaboration. I think that to make it very clear where our current priority seems to be mostly in organizations, is that we are talking about AI as assistant for an individual, your co-pilot, your assistant. And the interesting part here is that we may think effectiveness as an individual performance, but not as a team performance. But we actually found that if we go through these, if we just use AI for every individual and every task, we just create a queue for the next thing and a queue for the next thing. And actually what happens is that everybody thinks that now I'm very effective when I'm using AI for myself. But there has been something that is kind of bubbling under based on our findings that you have been thinking of. I think Sami had an idea to apply this.
Yeah, well, we have been really impressed about the way of working, the collab AI, And we actually decided to give it a try inside ISS as well. So we will implement and do, let's say, a small research, how it works in our onboarding process. So what we are going to do is that first we start with the IT department. Our new people, we will onboard them using this Collab AI working method. And we believe that all of these three will be an important part there and in the team building as well, because I think this working method has like the teaming and psychological safety and information sharing built in. And also, of course, if you put a team in a room and they all work together, let's say for a day or two, they really team up and share information. And in the onboarding process, they also get to solve some real problems. It's not just theory. It's like they really do the daily work in the meantime.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. We will start in 2 weeks.
And I mean, that I'm just thinking of that the typical onboarding process is typically like, okay, you watch some videos, you go to lunch with probably some team member, but then you probably are just waiting for when the real stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it sounds that you're doing actually very differently.
Yeah. We go straight to the deep end. Let's say like that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this topic, on the collaboration, on leadership maybe level?
Yeah, because it's something that we discuss with our leadership team is that this changes a lot, and it was a direct notion of the things that it's not just a tool that we use. It's a transformation that's going to change everything, and that's why actually in AI strategy we've been concentrating on the transformation. How do we get people in? How do we get people to sort of think differently, not just use the individual tool that we talked about here? So that's something that is going to, even that our business is not IT business, it's completely different, but it still has impacts on the ways that we work, and there can be even more. I think we see that, but it's of course a question of what do we develop, what is the things, and actually we have one thing that we've been doing together. So
yeah, since we now been talking about the way of working, and and at the same time there's kind of at the marketplace there's kind of question that is there like true Gen AI solutions that people are actually using and doing?
Is it just hype?
It's just hype. So we wanted to actually not just to talk about the way of working, but also something that, as you said, we've done together. So maybe we go to the AI editor then. Yeah.
Just briefly about the editor, because it's a tool and product that we made together with Solita, and how we see the AI tools being made, and how do we divide the AI strategies, that we sort of divide it into individual tools and then process tools, just to be sure that what we found out already is that the individual tools, there's probably no need to develop them by yourself. There's so much in the market, such good tools, not probably need to sort of these things that, and when I say individual tools, it means the tools that you would use as a person, like we talked in the beginning. But what we've seen here is that probably to develop those tools for the processes, that's more important. That's where the real sort of disruption and the transformation is going to be made. So for that matter, we made the AI editor, which actually processes invoice information, or actually it automates the sort of manual process of writing that information to invoices. And it could be a proof of concept, it could be something like that, but actually we went quite fast all the way to production. So from June this year, we've been using the AI editor, and why we chose the AI editor as the one to go really into production and use in our processes is that we all see these nice tools that you can even use for your creative work, but that's like automating the fun part of the work. So what we do is we try to automate the things that no one really wants to do, the sort of boring manual work. So that was the reason why we chose the AI editor. And now that we've been using it since June, it's phenomenal in this way to work, because it's been already sort of edits 50% of those invoices, and already now it's some 50% that requires no more manual work. And that's something that actually that manual work in the editing is something that no one really wants to do. Right. So it's very important to choose what to develop, not just develop something and get those products out, but to really choose the things that would make a difference, both in sort of financial way, but also in the sort of employee satisfaction that they really want to do. It's the normal daily work is somewhat nice to do, so that we don't automate the nice things. We automate the things that we really don't want to do. That's important, I think.
It's like we remove the unnecessary repetition and the unpleasant work. And I think that's a good like categorization, individual tools and process tools. And like if you try to create too complex process automation using AI, that's really difficult. But like here, we recognize the bottleneck in this process, and we try to create a really specialized AI tool for that specific task within the process. Right. And that's like something you can actually do already today. But if you try to automate the entire invoicing process, for example, that's like there is too much hallucination today that it would be possible.
Absolutely. And I think also like you probably want to have and keep some level of human interaction within the whole process. So you actually just find the pieces that are unpleasant to do in order to have the collaboration within the processes where you actually need the humans to think through that what's the smart thing to do. Yeah,
because we need our people to do the things that we go forward, where we think about our business in a new way. That's what we need our people for, because they are the experts of our business. So we need to use them for that, and not just the manual editing as an example.
Absolutely. With that, I think our time is kind of running out. So I just want to thank you, and I want to just leave it here, because connecting people kind of rhymes with that as well. And I think that you are actually making the world a better place to be, just with the thinking that you have been doing. And it was actually very pleasant to find out that you are already thinking of actually leveraging what we found, the way of working, to other places, because that's also what we are trying to do. And happily we are happy to share those findings at any given time with once we have them.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It was nice being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.